After all, we are just getting started. Think about it. Tim Berners-Lee, from his lab in Switzerland. Invented the World Wide Web in 1989, which was only 26 years ago. The great epochs in human history: the Bronze Age, Iron Age. Agricultural Revolution, Industrial Revolution. They span centuries. We're only 26 years into this internet age. We've only scratched the surface. And as I guess they say at Google, the future is awesome. We haven't even begun to imagine the discoveries and innovations that are going to be unleashed in the decades to come. But we know how we'll get there. Reflecting on his work in the 1960s on ARPANET, the precursor of the Internet. The late Paul Barron said this: the process of technological developments is like building a cathedral. Over the course of several hundred years, new people come along and each lays down a block on top of the old foundations, each saying, "I built the cathedral." And then comes along an historian who asks, well, who built the cathedral? And Barron said, if you're not careful, you can con yourself into believing that you did the most important part. But the reality is that each contribution has to follow on to previous work. Everything is tied to everything else. Everything is tied to everything else. The innovations that first appeared on this campus all those decades ago, that first mouse, That first message helped lay a foundation. And in the decades since, on campuses like this, in companies like those that are represented here. New people have come along, each laying down a block, one on top of the other. And when future historians ask who built this information age, it won't be any one of us who did the most important part alone. The answer will be, we all did, as Americans. And I'm absolutely confident that if we keep at this, if we keep working together in a spirit of collaboration, like all those innovators before us, our work will endure, like a great cathedral, for centuries to come. And that cathedral will not just be about technology. It will be about the values that we've embedded in the architecture of the system. It will be about privacy, and it will be about community. And it will be about connection. What a magnificent cathedral that all of you have helped to build. We want to be a part of that, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you for your partnership. With that, I'm going to sign this executive order. Thank you. Barack Obama. START treaty signing joint presser with President Medvedev. Delivered April 8, 2010. President Obama, good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to be back here in the Czech Republic with President Medvedev. And our Czech hosts to mark this historic completion of the New START Treaty. Let me begin by saying how happy I am to be back in the beautiful city of Prague. The Czech Republic, of course, is a close friend and ally of the United States. And I have great admiration and affection for the Czech people. Their bonds with the American people are deep and enduring. And Czechs have made great contributions to the United States over many decades, including in my hometown of Chicago. I want to thank the President and all those involved in helping to host this extraordinary event. I want to thank my friend and partner, Dmitry Medvedev. Without his personal efforts and strong leadership, we would not be here today. We've met and spoken by phone many times throughout the negotiations of this treaty. And as a consequence, we've developed a very effective working relationship built on candor, cooperation, and mutual respect. One year ago this week, I came here to Prague and gave a speech outlining America's comprehensive commitment to stopping the spread of nuclear weapons and seeking the ultimate goal of a world without them. I said then and I will repeat now that this is a long-term goal. One that may not even be achieved in my lifetime. But I believed then as I do now that the pursuit of that goal will move us further beyond the Cold War. Strengthen the global non-proliferation regime, and make the United States, and the world, safer and more secure. One of the steps that I called for last year was the realization of this treaty. So it's very gratifying to be back in Prague today. I also came to office committed to resetting relations between the United States and Russia. And I know that President Medvedev shared that commitment. As he said at our first meeting in London, our relationship had started to drift. Making it difficult to cooperate on issues of common interest to our people. And when the United States and Russia are not able to work together on big issues. It's not good for either of our nations, nor is it good for the world. Together, we've stopped that drift, and proven the benefits of cooperation. Today is an important milestone for nuclear security and non-proliferation. And for U.S.-Russia relations. It fulfills our common objective to negotiate a new strategic arms reduction treaty. It includes significant reductions in the nuclear weapons that we will deploy. It cuts our delivery vehicles by roughly half. It includes a comprehensive verification regime. Which allows us to further build trust. It enables both sides the flexibility to protect our security. As well as America's unwavering commitment to the security of our European allies. And I look forward to working with the United States Senate too. Achieve ratification for this important treaty later this year. Finally, this day demonstrates the determination of the United States and Russia, the two nations. That hold over 90% of the world's nuclear weapons to pursue responsible global leadership. Together, we are keeping our commitments under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Which must be the foundation for global non-proliferation. While the New START Treaty is an important first step forward, it is just one step on a longer journey. As I said last year in Prague, this treaty will set the stage for further cuts. And going forward, we hope to pursue discussions with Russia on reducing both our strategic and tactical weapons, including non-deployed weapons. President Medvedev and I have also agreed to expand our discussions on missile defense. This will include regular exchanges of information about our threat assessments. As well as the completion of a joint assessment of emerging ballistic missiles. And as these assessments are completed, I look forward to launching a serious dialogue about Russian-American cooperation on missile defense. But nuclear weapons are not simply an issue for the United States. And Russia, they threaten the common security of all nations. A nuclear weapon in the hands of a terrorist is a danger to people everywhere from Moscow to New York. From the cities of Europe to South Asia. So next week, 47 nations will come together in Washington to discuss concrete steps that can be taken to secure all vulnerable nuclear materials around the world in 4 years. And the spread of nuclear weapons to more states is also an unacceptable risk too. Global security, raising the specter of arms races from the Middle East to East Asia. Earlier this week, the United States formally changed our policy to make it clear that those non-nuclear weapon states that are in compliance with the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and their non-proliferation obligations will not be threatened by America's nuclear arsenal. This demonstrates, once more, America's commitment to the NPT as a cornerstone of our security strategy. Those nations that follow the rules will find greater security and opportunity. Those nations that refuse to meet their obligations will be isolated. And denied the opportunity that comes with international recognition. That includes accountability for those that break the rules, otherwise the NPT is just words on a page. That's why the United States and Russia are part of a coalition of nations insisting that the Islamic Republic of Iran face consequences. Because they have continually failed to meet their obligations. We are working together at the United Nations Security Council to pass strong sanctions on Iran. And we will not tolerate actions that flout the NPT, risk an arms race in a vital region. And threaten the credibility of the international community and our collective security. While these issues are a top priority, they are only one part of the U. S-Russia relationship. Today, I again expressed my deepest condolences for the terrible loss of Russian life in recent terrorist attacks. And we will remain steadfast partners in combating violent extremism. We also discussed the potential to expand our cooperation on behalf of economic growth. Trade and investment, as well as technological innovation, and I look forward to discussing these. Issues further when President Medvedev visits the United States later this year. Because there is much we can do on behalf of our security and prosperity if we continue to work together.